Just ran 10 miles, 7:36 pace, average heart rate 163. Hardest run of my life so far. Oh, I'm wearing the Apple Watch Ultra and the Whoop 4.0. I've been in a relationship with these companies for over 3 years now. Today I'm going to share which one I think is the best fitness tracker, so that way you can choose the one that's right for you. Surprisingly, I still like to wear both. Now, why do I care so much about tracking my health, my sleep, and my fitness? There are 3 main reasons, but first we need to return this mic. Number 1, when I get bad sleep, I struggle to focus throughout the day and I just can't be a positive friend or partner. So when I see the data and I realize I'm getting consistently good sleep, it allows me to focus and be productive and achieve big things. 2, I have this goal to run a sub 5-minute mile by the end of the year. So trying to achieve that fitness goal, it really helps for me to see the data on these dashboards where 1 week my heart rate is staying the same, but my times, my pacing is getting faster. I'm going from a 9-minute mile to an 8-minute mile to a 7-minute mile, and seeing that improvement over time gets me more motivated to see that I'm going to achieve that goal. 3, I didn't realize how bad alcohol was and how good taking magnesium before bed was until I started tracking my sleep. So understanding my lifestyle behaviors and how they impact my everyday life and just how I feel throughout the day has been really instrumental to using these devices. I know we're here to return something, but I love buying stuff. Big proponent of spending money I don't have. One of the things that I have realized, a side effect with these trackers, is that you can actually overanalyze the data, you can get anxiety from all the information and data. So really make sure to take everything with a grain of salt, use it as a guide, but listen to your body and listen to yourself first. Now, what is each product? The Apple Watch is essentially an iPhone on your wrist. It's got an app store, activity tracking, phone calls, messaging, alarm, calendar, and this is the 8th version of the Apple Watch. Obviously the Apple Watch Ultra is like a special edition, but I've had the Apple Watch for like 7 years now. I think since series 1 or 2, I forget which one exactly, and I love it. I've been getting the cellular model for like the past 4 years, and I get the plan for it as well because you can use it without your phone nearby. And then what is the Whoop 4.0? It's essentially a health wellness tracker with no screen, and it can go on your wrist, bicep, or inside your clothing. And it just tracks your biometrics, your heart rate, your blood oxygen, and all these things, and it sends that data to your phone. Ahmed, the CEO, has said for people to wear a wearable, it either has to look cool or be invisible. So I love their whole Whoop body concept where you can put it inside your clothes. And second, where it just looks cool. Like there's different kinds of really nice looking wristbands that you can wear, and it kind of creates this like cool community. Whenever I see someone with a Whoop, I'll say hi. And this Whoop 4.0 is their 4th version. I've had it since the 3.0, so it's been a little over 3 to 4 years now. And one thing I will not be comparing is because the Apple Watch is like a computer iPhone on your wrist, I won't be comparing all those other extra features. It'll mainly be the fitness, sleep, and health tracking. And since we're at the gym right now, I'm gonna get a little quick workout in before we head out to the Apple Store to buy a new little strap. All right, workout complete. We're gonna head to Apple Store now. The Apple Watch will have something that Whoop will never have, and that's Apple Pay. Oh no. Apple Pay. Now, how are we going to compare these devices? We're going to do the physical user experience, the virtual user experience, and finally the price, because you got to save that money. Now let's talk about the virtual user experience. So both of these measure almost the same amount of data, and they put that data into a certain app. The Whoop has one app for all the information that you need, whereas the Apple Watch actually has like 2 apps plus any other app you want to download. You have the fitness app, you have the health app, and then you can use these apps to understand what does that data mean, what is that information trying to tell you, and then you can kind of see the trends over time based on the app that you're using. When it comes to fitness tracking, obviously the Whoop doesn't have any buttons, so you need to use your iPhone or Android phone to start and end the workout. But since this is always tracking your heart rate, you can actually add your workouts after the fact. Whereas on the Apple Watch, I need to start and stop my workouts or else I miss all that information. And both devices in the software will give you like your GPS data, your time, your heart rate, your workout experience. So that information is all consumable. The one win that the Apple Watch has is it has built-in GPS, whereas the Whoop strap requires a connection to my phone, and then it uses the GPS on my phone. When I am doing my fitness workouts, I can see my heart rate zones, my live heart rate, my time elapsed. Whereas on the Whoop strap, to be able to see that information, you have to pull out your phone and pull out their app to see that information. So it's just another step, and it's really hard, especially if you're running or swimming. Like that information is not easily accessible in the software until after the fact. Next is sleep and recovery. So what I love about the Whoop strap is I never take it off. I guess I just did. And how that helps is that I'm sleeping with it, I'm working out with it, and I'm getting that data, and it's super easy to not have to worry about capturing that data. Whereas the Apple Watch, I tend to take it off, put it back on, but both devices will capture my sleep. They'll give me my sleep stages, my sleep start end times, and put that into their apps. On the Apple Watch, it's the Health app. On the Whoop, it's in the same exact Whoop app. But where the Whoop levels up on the software is they add another layer to that. So you have a journaling feature where you can journal your lifestyle behaviors every single morning right after you wake up. And it will give you conclusions based on your lifestyle behaviors. So some things I learned is when I sleep in a cold room, when I take magnesium, when I don't drink alcohol, my sleep levels increase. I'm having better performance throughout the day, better performance throughout the night. So what I love about the Whoop is that it takes the data and it combines it with my lifestyle behaviors and gives me like a scientific research paper every single month, every single week in terms of what can I do more and less of. And now that I've learned, all right, these lifestyle behaviors are good for me, like taking magnesium right before bed, the more and more I do that, the better sleep I get more often. So I like to use this app called Athletic on the Apple Watch, and that kind of takes all the data like HRV, all my sleep stuff, and it puts it into a aggregated form where I can really understand what does that information mean and what can I conclude from that. That's the closest thing of getting my Apple Watch to display information like the Whoop. I think what the Whoop excels at is displaying your sleep, your recovery, and trends over time all within the same app. And then they take that to a whole nother layer. They add something called a health monitor, and that's gonna show like, am I within the bounds in terms of my respiratory rate, my heart rate, my HRV? Have I been overtraining? So just having like a health dashboard and monitor that's kind of at the bottom of the screen provides another layer of information of how is my body doing and feeling today. The social features in the software. One thing I do love about both is they have really cool social features in the software. The Whoop has like teams where you can do like group chats and engage with a large group of people. So join my team, the link is below. The Apple Watch is more one-on-one based, so I can make like a friend and then I can see their workouts, and on my Apple Watch I can go ahead and reply and give them sassy responses. So if they finish a workout, I'd be like, hey, nice job, you know, and the Apple Watch automatically sends them an iMessage and it creates like this rapport and it helps, you know, deepen my relationships with my friends. And the other social feature the Whoop has is the camera, where I can show my live heart rate on top of the camera, and I can share this on social media or any other app, and I just think it's really cool. There's no other app out there that shows like your live heart rate on top of your camera. Next is a Strava integration. Whoop has a really nice automatic Strava integration. They'll export kind of an image of your recovery and whatever strain that workout was, and they'll automatically send it to Strava. So if you like to run or any other workout, it sends everything over. The Apple Watch doesn't have an automatic integration, but you can go ahead and manually import each workout on the app. So what I like to do is only import my running workouts. Both integrations are great. I do love the automatic feature on the Whoop. Last is Apple Health and the overall data experience. So obviously Apple Watch integrates with all the Apple ecosystem, and all your data information gets exported into Apple Health, and you can access that in any other app that you're using. The Whoop strap does integrate with Apple Health. It doesn't send every single information there, but they have started to add more and more. So it's adding most of the information into Apple Health that they can kind of be able to do. One thing they recently started doing is allow you to export all of your Whoop data. So Whoop has really been listening in terms of not being a closed ecosystem, and they're slowly opening up. They recently added Apple Health. Now they're allowing data export. So I'm really happy with kind of where Whoop is going. They're progressing and getting better and better. I'm very excited for what they have next. In terms of software, they both have really strong strengths in each categories, and I love wearing both devices. But the next thing is the hardware. What's the overall hardware experience like? I do want to go buy a new band for my Apple Watch. Let's head to the Apple store in New York City. Speaking of hardware, I just got a new band for my Apple Watch Ultra. But in terms of charging, the experience for the Apple Watch, you just go ahead and slide it on. It's magnetic, probably one of the best chargers around, and then it just charges. It's got fast charging and I love it. The thing is, if you forget to put it back on, it's not really useful. So you gotta remember to put this back on, which is a downside. And that's where the Whoop has a big win. Their charger is like a little slide-on thing right here, and this is the charger, and I will actually just slide it on there, and it wirelessly charges, and I never actually have to take the device off. And then I slide the charger off, and I charge the charger separately. The downside is I've lost this multiple times, so maybe I need to buy an Apple AirTag, put it on top, and use that to keep a track of this. But we got our band. Let's go talk about bands. This is the new Trail Loop. It's been really hard to get in stock, so luckily I was able to find it at one store in New York City. This is probably the lightest Apple Watch Ultra strap that they have. Super easy to take it on, adjust, and readjust. And the Whoop, in comparison, also has different variations of their strap. And you also have this little metal piece, kind of the border around it, that's also different. So you have two options of stylizing and customizing your Whoop. The big difference about the Whoop is that I can wear it on my wrist, I can wear it on my bicep, and they even sell Whoop body clothing where I can wear it inside my underwear, in workout shorts, or even the Whoop shirt that they have. So they have very special clothing where I will just slide this off, take off the little metal piece, and then I will actually just slide in the heart rate monitor chip into my shirt, into the underwear slot, and they have a specific slot built in their clothing for that. And the big thing I love about that is if you're doing like kettlebells or jujitsu or any kind of activity where you don't want an object protruding from your wrist or any area of your body, having the chip inside your clothing, you can still track your heart rate and get your strain, whereas like the Apple Watch in like a soccer match or jujitsu, you won't be able to wear this device. Now, straps aren't the only hardware differences. For example, the Apple Watch has a built-in dual GPS, whereas the Whoop does not have a GPS, and you need your phone to get that distance data when you're traveling, running, biking, or anything like that. Buttons. The Apple Watch has 3 buttons. It's got the dial and then the 2 buttons on the side, so you can start, stop workouts, you can set segments. There's a whole bunch of features you can do with the buttons on there. The Whoop doesn't have any buttons, so you have to use your phone to start and stop workouts. Vibration motor. They both have a vibration motor to wake you up in the morning, but the Whoop has special software to understand when you're in the light stage of sleep, and it can vibrate and wake you up in a light stage of sleep. The last 2 things are battery and size footprint. The Apple Watch Ultra is relatively large, whereas the Whoop is extremely small. It's much smaller, and you can hide it within your clothing and your shirt, and it doesn't rub as much against backpack or t-shirts or sleeves when you're trying to put these clothes on. The battery life will last 3 to 4 days on the Whoop strap, depending on how long you've had it, sometimes even less, sometimes a little bit more. The Apple Watch really only lasts 1 to 2 days, depending on how much you're using it and what you're doing with it. So I'd really charge it every single day. Now, in terms of battery speeds and charging, the Whoop takes about 2 hours, I think, with the wireless charging, and then you have to charge the charging puck. And the Apple Watch, you can get a decent amount of charge within 1 hour using their fast charging system. But overall, the hardware differences are pretty drastic because this is really an iPhone on your wrist, and the Whoop is just a health tracking device. So it's almost very difficult to compare these 2 devices head on. In terms of the health tracking features, they're pretty close in terms of what they can do. Just because of the App Store on the Apple Watch, you're able to get a lot of that same information and trends and graphs. It's just not the same user experience as you would on the Whoop strap, where everything's kind of integrated and just connected together. Now, in terms of price, the Apple Watch Ultra is an astronomical $800. Plus, if you're buying different kinds of bands, each band is $100 for the Apple Watch Ultra, unless you're buying like a regular Apple Watch band. And then the Whoop strap can range from $18 to $30 a month, depending on the plan that you get. So these prices are very different. It also depends on how long do you keep the watch. I typically get a watch every 1 to 2 years. So if I take the price of the watch and divide it by the number of years minus the resale value, then I can convert that to a subscription model. But I think overall, these are definitely on the higher tier when it comes to cost. So if you're thinking about buying either of these products, you're probably not thinking about money as much, and you're thinking about what's the best product for me? How can I leverage this and optimize my health the most? All right, so which one do I recommend from my experience? This depends. Now, some things to consider. It depends on the types of workouts that you do. I do it all of weightlifting, running, and a little bit of cycling, and I do appreciate the GPS on the Apple Watch. Whereas if you don't do some of these workouts and exercises, or you enjoy taking your phone with you every time you work out, or you don't want your phone with you when you work out, these are special considerations to take into place in terms of which product should you buy. I love the standalone aspect of the Apple Watch. When I first bought the Whoop, I actually wanted to return it, but because it was so easy to use and I always just wore it on my arm, I ended up just keeping it, and it's become a big valuable part of my life. And the journal feature on Whoop has really transformed all of my lifestyle behaviors today. And if you're absolutely crazy like me, go ahead and buy both, and you can wear multiple trackers all over your body. If you do plan to buy either products, use my affiliate links down below. It helps support the channel. And now, if you're someone who wants to have a computer on their wrist and you have a whole bunch of different functionality, phone, calling, text messaging, and replies, then I would recommend going the Apple Watch. Apple Watch is hands down my favorite thing. But if you want something with no display, it requires you to charge it less often, and you just want to understand your health, your biometrics, then I would go with the Whoop strap, where the Whoop does rely a lot more on using your phone for some of the data and the uploading of information. Peace!